Welcome to Star Wars Armada Explained. I'm Karnak. We're going to look at the Rebel Commander, General Rieekan. General Rieekan, how do you know he's a commander? If you look at the bottom left-hand corner of his card, you will see he does not have an upgrade icon. It's because the commander can be equipped to any ship except for flotillas. He's faction specific to the Rebel Alliance, which you can see that symbol there next to his point cost, which is 30. Next to his name, you'll see a bullet point, signifies that he is unique. You can only bring one of him in your fleet. Now, his original card text differs from the text you're going to be reading on here. This is because this commander has been errata'd several times because his initial iteration was very powerful. Some would say, how did this even get past playtesting? No one knows. It was very powerful. They've nerfed it. Thank goodness. So I'm going to read his updated card effects, okay? So it says, once per round, when a friendly ship or friendly unique squadron is destroyed, it remains in the play area and is treated as if it was not destroyed until the end of the status phase. So, Rieekan can choose once in a round if he wants to save a squadron or a ship's life, essentially. So typically what happens in Star Wars Armada, if a squadron's health reaches 0, it's immediately destroyed, it's pulled off the board. Same thing with a ship. Your ship, if its hull reaches 0, it's immediately pulled off the board and destroyed. Rieekan is essentially a one-time save where you can use it either once on a squadron or a ship. There's no multiples anymore. You can't save everything because it used to be Rebel players, all they would do is run mass unique squadrons and a bunch of ships, and you couldn't kill any of them because they would just stay in play, and then they would kill you, and then it was a disaster. But I'm glad it's been fixed. So now we can only use this ability once, and it's still powerful with that one-time save. So let's dive in. When does he work? When's his timing? Or before I do that, let's read his erratas and corrections. Excuse me. So on here you'll see the hard errata where it corrects his card to be what I just read about how it's only once per round. Okay. So let's read some other things. There's a errata regarding, or rather clarification regarding Biggs. So Biggs has the ability where if a ship, or excuse me, a squadron of escort takes damage, if he's at distance 1 of Biggs, Biggs can move 1 damage from that squadron to a different squadron with escort. Now, what players were doing is that they're using Biggs' effect to transfer that damage to a unique, escort X-Wing, like for example Luke Skywalker or Wedge Antilles. If they were already dead, he would just zombify that dead squadron and then keep transferring damage to them because they're not destroyed when they receive additional damage via Biggs' ability. And that kind of was considered too cheesy by FFG, which a lot of players agreed it was really cheesy to see damage being moved to the zombified squadron. So again, it's specifically calling that out, that you can't do that. You can't choose a friendly squadron that's already been destroyed but still there because of Rieekan. You can't move more damage to it. But some other things. Now this is a lot of text now, and I'm going to read through all of it, so just bear with me. Ships and squadrons affected by this ability are destroyed at the end of the status phase, regardless of the number of damage cards or hull points they have at the time. Meaning that some players would have 0 hull points and then they would repair their ship and say, no, look, I got a hull point back, or I moved my destroyed squadron onto the station and it got a health back, and now it's no longer destroyed. Well, that's not, you can't do that. Once it's destroyed, it's destroyed. You can't immediately cover health back onto it and say it's not destroyed anymore. All right. To move on, these ships or squadrons are removed before resolving any end of round or end of game effects. Again, specifically spelled there, I still see this misplayed all the time on objectives like fire lanes, on blockade run, on contested outposts, especially contested outposts, because some players are like, oh no, my Rieekan ship is still here and it's in range of the outpost and it claims a token, then it explodes. No, absolutely not. Rieekan's ability lasts until the end of the status phase, and end of round takes place after the status phase. It's kind of like a caveat. Right after status phase is end of round. So ships can't stay in and claim extra tokens or do extra abilities or any of that. Okay, moving on. Ships and squadrons affected by this ability are treated as undestroyed until the end of the status phase for all purpose, for like attacking or defending or resolving other card abilities they may have on those ships. These ships and squadrons can suffer additional damage from resolving effects such as Ruthless Strategist. Meaning, if a squadron's already destroyed, if you did, for whatever reason, want to Ruthless Strategist it, you could. If a ship or squadron would be destroyed by leaving the play area, it is destroyed immediately, regardless of Rieekan's ability. One time a player flew his ship intentionally off the board, but then saved it with Rieekan and said it was still alive. Well, no, it's off the play area. It's not in play anymore. It's gone. So you can't do that. Okay, if the ship that General Rieekan is equipped to leaves the play area, a ship or squadron already affected by his ability remain in play until the end of the status phase. And what it means by that, it's more related to Corellian conflict, where ships can escape via hyperspace. Rieekan's ability affects the ship he is equipped to. If this ability prevents the last ship in Rieekan's fleet from being destroyed, the game ends at the end of the game round. The ship with this card equipped can choose whether to resolve this card's effect before the destroyed ship or squadron is removed from the play area. Again, more towards Corellian conflict. So that is all the text there that's in the errata and in the clarifications. So let's get into some other things with him. So again, if you have a squadron, some people like to get a squadron and kind of throw it up forward to take a lot of fire. So then you're wasting shots on something that then, if it dies at the start of the next turn, you zombify it. That way you still get the full benefit of that squadron to activate it. A lot of Rieekan players like to use like small disposable ships like hammerheads or Nebulon Bees and place them directly in front of enemy large ships so that the large ship can't get past. Because even if they blow up that small ship really easy, you zombify it, and then they're forced to ram into it, stay where they are, and then this ship activates and then unloads into it. Or if it's from further away when it gets destroyed, it then moves in, and again, it's doing a blocking maneuver. A lot of Rieekan players like to block with a smaller ship to kind of hem in larger ships so they can bring firepower to bear on it. Or if they did have one of their ships or squadrons get caught out of position, to temporarily save it so that they can salvage an activation from it. So that's General Rieekan. He doesn't have any other crazy interactions or crazy things going on with cards or other things other than what I've already mentioned. Again, it just comes down to timing. Again, things only last until the end of the status phase. Ships can take more hull damage than what they have. For example, if the ship is destroyed and you do Rieekan it, you do need to make sure that you're drawing any and all damage cards associated to if it was attacked or rammed, or if it continues to be attacked for whatever reason. Remember that otherwise, when a ship immediately hits its zero value for hull, it's immediately destroyed. You don't draw excess cards. But that's Rieekan. Of course, if you feel like anything's in error, if I got anything wrong, please be sure to point it out. Let me know. Appreciate you guys watching the videos, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.